Okay. Now, holy shit! I made my water way too hot. Okay. That took. Oh God, that was hot. Okay. It still is. I have a feeling that this thing isn't gonna hold up. Hold on. Sorry. If I had an assistant, then I wouldn't have to do this. Okay. For the right price, you could pay me to be my assistant. Okay. Shit. Sorry. It's just such a hazard. There's so many moving parts, and I'm really hungry, so I'm gonna kind of eat this banana. Just as this is happening. Hi, my name's Andy Sylvester, and we are live from my bathtub in Nashville. I'll say that. Yeah. So a couple of things. I'm gonna skip that because people eating in a microphone. No, just no. Okay, let me pull something up. So today's topic is honestly, I don't know if it would be better to speak like into the camera or like I'm having mic situations going on obviously. Hold on. Let's just get a little review real quick. Whew. It's hot. Oops, not you. Hey is all right. Today's topic, and I don't know which kind of lighting I like. I think this is a warm, soft white. What else do we have here? Well, that's pretty cool. What is that? Yellow? Red's a vibe. That's cool. Yeah, so today's topic, I'm asking, what is gender? So, what is gender? Who the fuck knows? So, yeah, but I'm going to start off a little bit with some local news. So today, not today, this computer's a tad better. Shit, okay, well, I gotta figure this out. Are you sure? Is this not better? Is this like, I know it's like pretty bassy, but how is that? Is that better or worse? I gotta get a survey. Okay. So local news, there's a public or private school here in Nashville that is an all-girls school. It's called Harpeth Hall. This is one where like a lot of people pay a lot of freaking money to be able to go to, and it's intense. So a little small story about that is that when I was in high school, I played lacrosse freshman year on the girls team, and I remember, so I played same volume. Okay, which one's better? Tell me. Be straightforward. Tell me. Okay. So I played on the girls team, and um, I was goalie because I played goalie a lot for soccer and stuff growing up. And so basically, I so I'm sitting in the goal, and this the goalie on the opposite team, the Harpeth Hall team, because I was at I'll just say I was at a different school. I'm not gonna give out specifics because you never know. There might be some creeps on here. Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. So yeah. So I was in the goalie, and my team was really good. So I'm just kind of chilling, sitting back, you know. And so like basically, I'm in the goal, and I'm looking across the field, and I'm like, what is she doing? It's their goalie, right? Their goalie was completely like, I don't want to use the term barbarically, but I don't know how else to describe this. Hold on one sec. I'm really struggling with this mic scenario right now, and I'm waiting for a chord. Okay, there we go. All right, it's still annoying, but whatever. Okay. Anyway, so I'm looking at what she did, what she was doing, and she's taking her stick. and like rampaging it against like the sides of the thing, and she's like, ah! Like, and you can see her like mouth guard teeth going on, and I'm just like, I'm laughing at this point because I didn't know like what else to do. But she, to me, like, and I don't want to use this phrase necessarily, but it looked like a wild animal in a cage. Like it was straight up, it was intense. But okay, Harpeth Hall, usually known as like pretty preppy-ish, all girls school. So it's like I said, all girls, right? So they just came out, and this is like Nashville and Franklin, Brentwood, Nashville area, like Middle Tennessee area, is decently Christian-y, Republican-ish, closed-minded, white. But they, so Harpeth Hall came out and said, and I quote, well, don't quote me. They said we are now allowing anyone who refers to themselves as female or identifies as female to be able to apply to their school, and I'm just woo. That is incredible. Also, I'm waiting for hell to break loose because these Karens that live in this area are not going to stand for it. They're probably going to have some sort of petition going on. And honestly, I really want to interview somebody that works at the school, even if it's like having one of those voice changers, like, oh, this is why we're doing this because, and their face is all like blacked out. Like, even if that's what we have to do, I don't care. I just want to know more, you know. And then they're probably gonna get fired for being a whistleblower and having the whole situation, whatever. But anyway, so congrats to Harpeth Hall. I do know that they've already had, I think, a trans woman or trans girl there, and it was interesting. So the word that I heard of was they had a trans girl at the school, and she was very early into transitioning. I think she didn't have like any hard times with the student, probably a few students, but I don't really know what kind of time that she had, honestly. But so at Harpeth Hall's graduations, they have to all wear white dresses, and this trans girl was really really early in transition, and she apparently asked if she could wear a pantsuit, and they said no, all of our graduating girls have to wear white dresses. I'm assuming they weren't as comfortable in a dress just yet. I mean, that's kind of a, if you're not there, then I mean, I don't know. It's a building block. It's a, what is that? Stepping stone. Thank you. It's a stepping stone to, I feel like, figuring out who you are if you're comfortable. Not all girls, cisgender girls, even like wearing dresses anyway. So it's like I get it. I get it. So, but rather, I mean, I don't know. I feel like things are going in a positive direction, which is good. And yeah, let's see. If only it's somebody willing to. Yeah. Okay. Yes, it is very cool. Hi, Eric. Eric AF. Erica. I'm sorry, Erica AF. You're Erica as fuck. That's what's up. And Mallory, hi. Yeah, I wish I did have somebody to help me. Next time you're coming over and you're assisting me on the mic. Okay, so that's super cool. I'm really excited about that. We will see how it pans out. I'm very, very pumped for a little bit of backlash, just so we can, see what's going on. I know it's coming, so we will see what happens. Okay. Anyways, that's local news for you. So I'm going to talk about a few different things. I think what I want to start off with is wow. Okay, so I had two topics. I have two topics, and honestly, I need you guys' help. You tell me what I should. What do you want to hear first? Okay. So I have two topics. One of them is what was it like dating on like Tinder, or dating as as a trans guy, as like a new trans guy and stuff. And so that's one, like Tinder or dating. I've never been on any of the other apps, but I've been asked a lot of questions about that. So we can get to that, or I've got a few theories about gender and chromosomes and basically having to do with having to do with Down syndrome, and having to do with chromosomes, and having to do with gender, and having to do with being trans. Okay, there's the two things, and yeah, I do. I need. What do you want to hear about first? Because I'm just gonna keep. I'm just gonna roll if I don't get some feedback. But um, yeah, you guys tell me. So let's see here. I'm just trying to organize myself a little bit. Um, yeah, because I do have some notes on here. I mean, I'm a very smart person, but not all of it just comes straight from my brain all the time. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. You know what? I'm gonna start off with Tinder and dating because that's a little less complex and a little bit more of a personal story. And yeah, so let's just go from there. So, Tinder, dating, profiles, all that shit. Let's see, let's see. So the very first time I ever went on Tinder, I lived in Oregon. I moved to Oregon, Portland, Oregon. Um, and okay, so long story short, I was married for a little bit. We got a divorce. We're good friends. We moved to Portland as roommates, and it worked out. It was really cool. We both like were dating other people, and yeah. So basically, this was my first time on Tinder. This is my first time dating as a trans man, and this was a whole new experience, a whole new city, a whole new vibe. So basically, I thought about it, and I was talking to my ex-wife, and I was like, Lex, what what do I do? Like, do I put on there like that I'm trans? Do I not? What do I do? And so I decided I'm not trying to. I don't like the term catfishing when it's like, oh, gotcha, I don't have a dick, but like, I don't have a dick, and I would if you're a gay man going for that, we could find one that you like, and I could put it on. You know, like it was like it's very different then just being straightforward and being like, hey, by the way, I'm not going to waste your time, not going to waste my time. Let's get down to it. I'm female to male. Yeah. And so, but with that comes a lot of weird fetishy people, and that was hard to avoid ish. So there's like, so on the West Coast, with my experience in the Northwest Coast, there were a lot of there was so it was so accepting of trans people to where there were then like people, I mean, like, so not accepting, but so much of like, so down here they're very passive. Like if they know you're trans or don't know you're trans, it's like, oh, that's not, it's very Voldemort-ish, like let's not speak about it, or like, oh, that's weird, or like I don't know enough so I'm not gonna say anything. But out there, to generalize from only my experience out there, um, it was very much of like they knew everything already, and they knew like too much to where they started forming too many opinions on what, like, on what you were, on what you needed to be, on what you could say, on all these things. Like what you can say, yes, I agree, that's a thing, but like this was like very much um I don't know. I just remember like they knew so much to when all of a sudden they had like anti-trans groups, and then they had like, it was just really weird. And I honestly I didn't vibe. I'd rather like fight the good fight and like let me teach you something instead. Like you don't know everything. I'm sorry, but you don't. Neither do I. But like I don't know. Anyway, so dating out there, I put on my profile female to male. At the time, well, no, I was still, I'm bisexual, so I started dating men and women. This was my first time dating a guy as a guy, and it was a really interesting experience, especially because like I um, I had never done that, so it was just so anyway, so basically I went on a date with a girl, and I went on dates with two guys, and one of the guys, so they reach out to me, right? The guys who are interested in trans guys that I've experienced are gay men who either have been with a trans guy like once or have been with only guys. So to be honest, I've been a couple people's first trans experience, and I mean, happy to be happy to be it, whatever. But at the same time, it's like there's a lot of insecurities around it, because like I don't know, I'm like, well, if you're gay, I get why you're attracted to trans guys because they look like guys, but like I don't know if you're gonna like want all this. Like, you might just be attracted to me from the waist up, and then when we get down to it, it's like, uh oh, what's happening? So, but anyways, long story short, it was fine. And I really I know both of them. They were really nice guys, and like sweaty. And but anyways, there I was one of their first experience, and one of them has been with a trans guy before. So it was kind of like comforting at the same time as like I was the one lacking the experience at that point in time. I've never had a sex with a guy as a guy. It was just really interesting. But anyway, so the conversations that started like messaging, they're like, hey, like Tinder, really, and then it's like a dick pic, and then it's like this, and so like it was, and I'm like, well, you're sending me a dick pic, and you've only gotten like dick pics back, like, what do you want to see? Like, do you want it? Do you want to see this? Like, or like, I assume yes, or else we wouldn't have like swiped right or whatever. But like, I don't know. There was a lot of insecurity around it. I was still like in year like 1.5 to 2 in my transition, so like it was still just like really new, and I was comfortable. I was more comfortable in my body than I've ever been, but I still wasn't like super comfortable in my body completely. So it was like really interesting navigating that and like finding out what I was comfortable showing and sharing and what I wasn't. But so I'm gonna touch base on a little something. So when I went out with this guy, so I tell this story a lot. I'm a hairdresser. I tell this story a lot to my clients, and like, because I love perspective, and I feel like a lot of my life has been based off of perspective. Sorry, this thing keeps slipping down, and there's a lot of electronics going on, and I'm just gonna sit back a little bit. Oh God. Okay, so I've experienced the perspective of a straight white girl growing up in Franklin. I've experienced the perspective of a bisexual white cisgendered feminine girl. I've experienced the perspective of a lesbian feminine girl. I've experienced the perspective of a masculine feminine girl. The experience of a obviously transitioning trans man. Like, when I say obviously, I mean like in early stages for me, I felt like it was like I didn't know if it was obvious or not, but I kept getting called out on it, so it was like, okay, obviously this is an obvious thing. So, and then I've experienced the perspective of a pansexual trans man, and viewed as a straight white guy, and viewed as a gay white guy. And to be real, the scariest time was when I was viewed as a gay guy, and I was like floored about this because like growing up in the LGBTQ plus community, I thought that like gay guys, I'm just gonna flat out say I thought gay guys had it like the easiest, like in out of the people in the community, because like they were like on trend, like people liked them, like people wanted to hang out with them, like the stereotype of like the like shopping buddy and all that shit, and and I'm straight up like speaking only stereotypes, and like it's like all of that was going on, and but then I get sorry, I'm like I need a Justin Bieber mic is like honestly on my Christmas list, like, and if you get it for me, I'll fucking marry you. Don't quote me on that. Marriage is a bitch. Not really, but getting out of it is. Even if it's mutual. So, anyway, so I was on this date with this guy, and we're at a bar, and we were sitting there. It's a dive bar, and I turn around and I see this like group of like country-looking dudes, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I left Nashville, and what is this? They followed me? Like, this is so weird. It was everything minus the accent. Like, they had like camo on, and they were like just all drinking beers with their buddies, just big guys, and like, and I was like, oh god, okay. And I keep hearing the word faggot, like faggot this, faggot that, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, who the fuck are they talking about? Like, damn, like, could they just like ease up a little bit? Like, that's kind of fucked up. And then I realize, oh god, they're talking about us. I, for one, have not been called a faggot since elementary school from my best friend because that's just what we called each other back then. I don't know. It was like, oh, don't be a thug. Like it was. Let's be real. It was like an okay thing somehow, but a lot of things were okay that aren't okay. And and anyway, so I'm all of a sudden this fear sets in where I'm like, oh shit. Um, and I like the guy keeps trying to like hold my hand or like whatever, make certain little passes at me, and I'm like I like shut down. I was like, oh fuck, fuck, fuck. Like I don't oh god. Because being like a lesbian girl, like people are like, oh, I want to watch, or like like they're like, oh yeah, like what do girls do when they have sex? Like why don't you tell me? It's just like a whole there was a whole like thing around it, or it was just like, oh god, don't mess with her. She's like bucked up or whatever. Like I don't, there was so many weird like stimuli around it. It was just really interesting. And so basically, to have this experience, dude, that scared the shit out of me. Like I've never been so scared in my life, and it is a whole different ballgame. Honestly, it really fucking is, and it was the first time I've been scared while on a date. Because usually, if I was a lesbian on a date, people are like, "Oh, look at that lesbian couple, they're cute," or they're like, "Oh, they don't know what a real dick feels like." Like like just there's whatever side of the whatever you're gonna be on, but like, so it was honestly uh, terrifying. So we're about to leave. So we get out, and he tries to hold my hand. I poor guy. I wouldn't fucking let him. It freaked me out. I was a little bit. I don't know. I was scared. Like for real. I was just legitimately scared. Especially because then they were leaving at like the same time we were, and so I'm like, we're walking down the street to my car, and I'm like looking back, like fuck, fuck, fuck. Like, are they coming? Are they gonna get us? Like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna like kidnap us? Because the dude was like, I'm like 5'6", and I'm obviously not like the most like ripped guy out there, but I mean, I'm alright. But so I mean, I didn't have like a weapon on me. Like, it's just like I don't know. I didn't know what to expect, and these guys are huge, and they're like, seem like they'd have like 20 guns in their pockets, and like, so basically, long story short, that nothing happened. But I was grateful in the end to experience what it was like to be in that position because I've never been in that position. And yeah, anything that can broaden my perspectives, my perception of like other people's like realities, like anything like that, I am all for. I'm sorry that I keep fidgeting around. I just am not comfortable in this bathtub right now, even though I bought a dope ass cushion. It's nice, but I just don't. I don't know. Whatever. I need like a chair. I need a chair in here. I'm not playing. I need a recliner in here, and it's gonna be fine. Thank you, 5'6.5", and you're right. The half counts. I don't care what you say. So, all right. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get back to it. Wow, that's bright. I'm sorry. Um, so I'm gonna get back to it. So what is gender? Okay. Basically, my sources have said. So I've had this theory, right? I've had this theory for a long time, and I when my mom was pregnant with me, uh, hey mom, shout out to you. I don't know if you're watching or not. She's probably watching The Bachelor. I'm competing with The Bachelor, and I know it, and that's fine because eventually it's gonna end, and I'm not. So there you go. But so my mom, they told my mom that that she was had a chance that I was gonna. Or, okay, they told my mom that I was going to have Down syndrome. Okay, and they were like, "Do you want to keep it still?" And she said, "Yeah." And there was like a couple other extra tests that they could have done after the fact to like double check or something, but it would have increased the chances of a miscarriage. So my mom didn't do that. So basically, she had me anyways. And when I was born, I didn't have Down syndrome. I don't have Down syndrome. But when I heard this story and going through like my transgender experience, two things kind of stood out to me, or one thing kind of stood out to me: the chromosomes thing. I'm like, okay, so when somebody has Down syndrome, they have what is it, an extra set of chromosomes or extra? It's like the what do they call it, like the 21st or something? I don't know. I don't remember. But they have an extra set of chromosomes. So And then chromosomes always or also determine our gender. So I'm like, what's happening there? So like female is XX, male is XY. But I also found some people have XXY and some people have XXX. Okay, so what does that mean? Because, like, what the fuck does that mean? Who knows? So I'm looking into it, and basically, I find this thing that I've never heard about, nobody talks about, I don't know why, but I found this thing called androgen insensitivity syndrome, AIS, for abbreviation's sake. 2 to 5 people out of 100,000 have this. So I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Is that like a fancy way of saying that they're trans or something? Pause. It's very hot in here, but I like it. Okay. AIS, androgen insensitivity syndrome. What are you? So basically, what this means, and I might do a screen share real quick and pull this up so you guys can see it for yourself, because I did find this one girl, and she's like, hold on. Screen share with Cam. But do I know how to do this? I don't know. I thought so. I think I did. Window capture? Maybe not. Okay, I'm gonna play with it in a little bit, but I don't wanna waste your time and shit. So, basically, so she, excuse me. Alright, so I still don't really understand what it is, but it means that, like, you have the female body with the genetic makeup of a male. And I'm like, okay, what is the difference between that and being trans? Like, not, I mean, obviously there's differences, right? But it's like, so I thought this was interesting, and it's basically, I really still don't even understand it, which is not helpful right now. I'm sorry, but so I found out that, like, she doesn't have periods. She has really big boobs. She was like, "That's a plus. You got big boobs." And then she's like, "Oh, I don't have any pubic hair, and not like none. I don't even know if she has any hair like on her body at all." And but and she was like, as far as downstairs goes, I still don't understand what that is, or like what's going on down there. Not like it's any of my business, but when it comes down to for science sake and comparisons, I'm really not understanding. Hold on, what's happening? Oh god. Oh. Oh, the screen sharing. This audio will not come through. Oh, okay. Thank you. I appreciate that because, uh, yeah. Basically, I don't know if I gotta figure out my whole screen share thing because I'm gonna be able to do that, but I think I need headphones for that too. It's a whole thing. I'll get on it. Don't worry about it. Whatever. So anyway, so she's like, all right. So I've got big boobs. I've got no pubic hair. I've got What else did she say? She didn't have a puberty. I guess she's like, I don't get a menstrual cycle, so that's great, and I can't reproduce. So blah blah blah. Like, I guess that was a good thing to her. Some people that would be a negative thing. Whatever. To each his own. To me, that would be a blessing. Anyway, so that's going on, and I'm like, what? I'm like laughing my ass off at the girl. Not at her. It's just like she's an entertaining girl, and she had these like flashcards up that she drew her own like boobs on. And was like, okay, big ones, and it's like, what? And so I'm like, who is this? Imogen Calloway. I remember I wrote it down. Imogen Calloway. I wrote equals OMG because I'm just obsessed with her. And basically, then I was like, well, what is she doing? And then I find out she's like reviewing a Louis Vuitton purse from 2012. It's got pockets like this, and it does this, and it's like I loved it. Whatever. Anyway, so This androgen insensitivity syndrome, I found out, is not the same thing as being trans. But they do experience very similar body dysmorphia, which is really interesting. And I would love to meet one if anybody knows one. I'm sorry, that's like sounds insensitive. If anyone knows one, shoot them my way. No, it's anyways, it was really interesting, but it kind of had nothing to do with it at the same time as having something to do with it, because then you find out, because then I found this one video that showed me that, okay, within the first like 7 to 8 weeks of developing in your mother's womb, you basically are, this is when your cells or chromosomal makeup decide basically what parts that you have or parts that you're going to have. And this is when like the tissues decide. I don't know who's deciding this. I don't know. This is when the tissues decide if you get testicles or if you get ovaries, and so it just like forms in this thing. And basically, like, this is where I'm gonna get passionate about, and I'm gonna take a bite of this banana. Basically, this is where I get pissed, okay? Because I didn't know this until I started transitioning, and then I was like, holy shit, what? Like, what? And basically, so when you're transitioning and your clit grows, right? It gets a lot more sensitive. It basically has a similar sensitivity. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Whatever. Basically, has a similar sensitivity as like a penis head. And one of the guys that I was dating in Oregon was like, God, I'm so jealous. And I was like, why would you be jealous? Like, in my head, I couldn't compute it because I'm a trans guy, and I'm like, why would you be jealous of not having like your dick to like fuck people with? And basically, he was like, no, because that's got to be like way more sensitive. And I was like, I guess you're right. And so I looked into it, and basically, like, it's all the same. We are all the same. We all are the same. We're all the same. We're all the same. I'm sorry. Like, I was walking around last night and did an audio journal, and I'm like, I'm the same as that tree right there. I'm the same as that other plant. I don't know. There's dogs that were like looking at me from their rich ass balcony, living a better life than us all. The two golden retriever like purebreds are like with their fur and like flowing in this wind, and they're like looking at me, and I honestly, I was like, oh, I barked out. I don't know. I wasn't barking. I did howl it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just that person. Sometimes when I go on walks, I feel like I'm in a music video. And so, anyway, so I'm doing the whole thing. I'm in my music video. I'm on my walk, and I'm like, I'm the same as that. I'm the same as these. I'm the same as this. Because this goes back to my metaphysical humanistic science training. And we are all made of the same things. Hello? Like, this is where I'm like, what the fuck is gender then? Like, why? Like, and there's two sides to this coin. And I would say that one side is we're all fucking the same and gender is bullshit. Two is we fought, us trans people fucking fought for what we're working on. So like, I can't fully say it's bullshit because I fought for being a guy, and that's enough of that. I'm getting too pointy with it. I don't want to smash it into my screen. But I do like having a prop. I'm not gonna lie. So anyway, so it's frustrating to me because of just like, how do I get these words out? I'm just really upset. Somebody help me out. Show me the way. No, I just, the same parts. Like, when you watch this video that I'm gonna prepare for next time, swear to God, I thought I had it prepared. I just don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So I'm here and I'm weighing it and I'm having fun. Fuck it. And so anyway, so basically, when you get to that 7 and 8 weeks, like, you either get testicles or you get ovaries, and then like the clitoris forms, which is the same as like the penis head. You following? And something with like the male hormones just makes it some sort of decision that makes their reproductive organs more external, and then in the female ones it keeps them more internal, and that is literally, other than the fact that testicles have testosterone and ovaries have estrogen, that is the only difference. That's it. And like, according to a lot of girls, like, and guys are idiots. But like, cisgendered guys kind of are. No offense, but I'm not gonna lie. Whatever. Anyways, it's literally, that's talking about the brain and the brain chemistry, which is also interesting because female energy is more lunar, and male energy is more, or masculine energy is more solar. And I remember I was talking to a client of mine saying how something about just not feeling like my most masculine self or something. I don't remember what the fuck I was talking about, but I remember her turning around and being like, "You should lean into your masculine energy, Eddie." And I was like, "What is this right now?" I'm just like, "Turn your ass around. I'm gonna blow your hair out, and you're gonna get out of here." But honestly, I know she meant well, and nothing was offensive about it or anything like that. But it was like, yeah, it's interesting. So basically, when I started transitioning, and I think I shared this before, but basically I felt really, it was really tough for me to like access that lunar intuitive energy again or anymore. And I thought that was interesting because I didn't know that people experienced different sides of that, like when hormones are involved. That didn't really make a lot of sense to me, so it was confusing. But anyways, so it was just kind of different to try and like tap into, like, I love paranormal science. I'm getting my master's and doctorate in paranormal anthropology and metaphysical humanistic sciences, and so I really love energy. I really love how it works and shit. And so basically, learning about that and putting that together with transitioning has been really interesting, honestly. And that's kind of where my theory came from, as far as like our chromosomes deciding what gender we are at the same time as deciding um, whether we have Down syndrome or some sort of syndrome or something like that as well, because they both have X. Like, there's X and X, and then there's X and Y, and they both have X, and so there's that common denominator that is keeping us the same. And I get really pissed off because people don't treat people the same. I'm not gonna lie. I rode around today fucking hating everybody. I was in a very bad mood, but and like I honestly, like, I don't know why. I was really, I think it's, I put some things off, and then I ended up having to rush and do them anyways. But and then I don't have a washer and dryer, so I was at the laundromat, and it was a whole thing. But I honestly really love that laundromat because it comes with an app that tells you when your thing's almost done, and you pay through there. There's no quarters, no nothing like that involved, which is great. Unless you need that, and you can still use that. But basically today I had a lot of weird energy happening, and I was like kind of just upset at humanity in general. But that provokes my best thoughts sometimes if I don't take it out on people, which I don't, but I just keep it up here and try and process it into something better. And I did my shot today. Here's my little band aid. Oops, shit. Right there. That's a band aid. And yeah, so basically, I just don't appreciate people not taking into account that we're all literally the same. And I also had this thought. This is getting off topic, but I don't really care because like I can just keep going. I also had this thought last night that, and this is not the first time I've had this thought, but I really, really, really feel like people, like the human race, human species in general, we've gotten it all wrong since like the beginning. I remember learning about like why, because I was like, God, like in the old days and all these pictures and shit, you see how people are just like walking around in their town. Nobody needs cars. You all just live like in a vibe together. Um, and like I really, like, I'm not a vegetarian or anything, but I don't think that we needed to start eating meat until, and now we're just kind of genetically modified to want that because of our ancestry. I could be wrong, whatever. This is all theories. I don't care. And so basically, I was walking around and I was just thinking, I'm like, yo, we got it wrong. Like, we've gotten it wrong. and it's too late to go back, really, because now we've created all these needs. You can't not have a car or public transportation, like in order to, unless you literally live like right around the corner from your work. But then it's like, oh, where's the grocery store? Where's all this? Like you need, we've created all these needs that weren't necessarily needs originally, and so basically, I really don't think. And so as I was walking around, like, and when I was barking at that dog, I was like, why does it seem so scared? And I'm also like, well, but I was like, this is so weird because like animals, and then like I was thinking about the bugs that are in my house, or like I don't have a ton of. Well, all right, I like dead things. I have a lot of dead bugs in my house, and I was thinking about like because I like them dead. I don't like them alive as much because they just are unpredictable and they're abrasive. And I'm like, where did that fear come from? And they probably fear us the same way. And I think that if we originally went back and just like harness this energy of just like good vibes. My first drug was mushrooms. Harness this energy of like good like and like just vibed it out. Like we could have all lived, and I was like thinking about how weird it was that like we live in these boxes and like these houses and so separated and so segregated and so like diversity is separated and like and it's been years like of doing this and nothing. It's like it's time to change. We have the same Congress forever, and like they need a time limit. I'm sorry, but they do need a time limit. Those motherfuckers cannot just be sitting up there waiting to die and owning all of our rights, because guess what, Florida is trying to ban all the freaking trans healthcare shit, but also there's West Virginia that's like, it's good, come get it. And so it's like there's this whole thing, this whole separation and segregation. People are gonna have to move. Can people afford to move? No, not everyone can afford to move. I don't know. I'm not getting it. I'm not moving right now, but I literally like it just pisses me off. It makes me like very. The only word I can think of is passionate, because that's my way of saying angry, in a nice way. Or like being angry or nicely angry. I don't know. I'm not gonna go beat someone up, but like I wish that I could, but it's just not in my nature, 100%. So, but add testosterone to that, and who knows? So I literally like it doesn't make sense, and I know I'm kind of rambling, but it doesn't make sense as to like how we got here. How did we get here? Like, and then there's other beautiful things where it's like, oh my god, that man created an airplane and we're flying in the sky. But like at the same time, like we didn't need to. I mean, I don't know. I'm not mad about airplanes, whatever. But we didn't need to have these like we didn't. We made all these necessities, like all these needs. Like now we have to have a car, and you have to have gas for your car, or whatever bullshit with the electric cars. Sure, to me it seems very inconvenient to charge your car all the time. I barely charge my phone, and so, but it's just ridiculous that we've created all these separations and these little like putting things in boxes. And I'm tying this back to gender because back when I was before transitioning, back when that was a thing, I literally I went I was working, I was doing hair, and I'd have like kids cuts, whatever. I'd have people coming in, I'd do their hair, whatever. This was like previously or before non-binary, before people gave a fuck about pronouns, and before like trans was on trend and like all this stuff. Like I'm sorry, but trans is on trend. I'm trendy. And it was, so I would be asked pretty frequently, oh, are you a guy or a girl? I was a very androgynous lesbian girl at the time. And so I'd be asked that, and I'm like, oh, like, no, like, I'm just Andy. Like, I don't care. Like, I was born a girl, but like, I'm just Andy. Like, that was, if non binary was a thing back then, I probably would have been like, yeah, I guess that's fitting. Not saying that that's exactly what non-binary means, but that I feel like I would have related more to that than understanding what's going on with myself. So basically I was asked that all the time, and I'm also just like, they're not asking me my pronouns. They don't care. Like there's nothing that I'm gonna say to them that they're like I can't be like, oh, I'm a girl, and there's nothing that they could understand that would change, like that would be like, oh, okay, now you've made the world a better place because now you know that I'm a girl. Like it was like I hated being asked that question. There wasn't much respect out of it because they didn't give a fuck about the pronouns. So it was only for their own benefit that they were just lining it up so they could have their little moment of like, oh, I got it. Now I know. Anyways, I'm gonna take this kind of hairstyle and whatever. And like, basically, I'm just like, why the fuck do you care? Why do you care? Like, why do you care? Nowadays, if you ask me that and I could tell your intentions were good and you were asking me because of pronouns, excellent, awesome, amazing. But honestly, but then, and I know even just because it was back then doesn't mean it's still happening or not still happening now. Because now, still a lot of people are like, well, I'm going to use the pronouns that I see, and also they're also like, well, I'm not going to use they them until it's grammatically correct. Do you know how many times I've heard that before? And I just look at them through my mirror, and I'm like, like, what am you got to tip me. I'm not gonna just be like, out, get out, sorry. And maybe one day I will. Maybe I would love to be able to do that. If I like didn't need money to live, yeah, I'd probably be a little bit more of an asshole. Honestly to say, and I don't think I'm an asshole now. So like, I mean, well, whatever. To each his own. Your opinion. I honestly, I'm a very nice person. I swear. But it's just frustrating because that's so ignorant. And I'm going to speak on one more ignorant thing, and this might offend somebody. I don't care. I'm sorry, but she said it, and I was like, what? What? What do you mean by that? And I couldn't even handle it. I'm like, I gotta go. And hung up. Like, I was, whoo. Okay, so, I'm a female to male. I'm on testosterone. I'm doing these in my bathtub. I'm doing my own thing, And so, like, this all has to do with, like, maybe trans Q&A, answer anything, me rambling, telling stories, telling facts that I look up on the internet, whatever. But this girl, I won't say the name, but this girl's like, oh my God, let me be on it. Like, let me come into your bathtub. Like, I'll be on your show. And I was like, no. I'm like, first of all, I'm like FaceTiming because you FaceTime, and I'm just like, no, like, I'm sorry, but I can't, and like, I might lose a client for this, but whatever. So she says to me, but Andy, I've done bodybuilding before, and so I was on testosterone for that, so I could totally be on that. I'm gonna let that sink in for a minute while I just check something. I don't even think I really even processed like what the fuck that was when she said that, because I was like, no, like, I'm sorry, like, I'm working on a podcast, and my website's almost done and everything, and I'm really excited because I'm gonna be interviewing people in my second bedroom that I've got set up to be like a talk show, and it's also gonna have to do with like LGBTQ plus whatever, but like the fact, and this is the thing that's like, I don't like being disinclusive. I don't like not including people, or I don't like making people feel like they're not included. Okay, because me growing up, I didn't feel included for shit. Like, I was really shy. I was really weird. Like, I didn't understand what was going on half the time. I was in my head like 23 hours of the day, and it was, so I would love to be able to be like, yeah, that's the same, but it's not at all. I'm sorry, it's not the same. I'm not sorry. It's not the same at all. It's the most ignorant shit ever. And I'm sorry, the ignorant's a real word, and that's how I feel about it. And that was so, like, what? Like, I literally, like, okay, so, whew, okay. Obviously that made me upset. And I like, I don't want to fucking hear it, but I do, because your perspective is valid. But at the same time, like, I'm sorry, but you did not grow up very confused about your. I mean, maybe you did. Whatever. In my opinion, right now, when I grew up, I was super confused about everything. gender wise and very confused, especially when puberty came around and this started happening and periods happened. I didn't know about periods. I thought I was dying, didn't tell my parents about it for 2 days because I was terrified that they would think that I was dying, like an internal organ bleed, and I didn't want them to be sad, and I didn't want them to like miss me because I was dying. Like it was black and white to me. Like it was very like you're dying, and basically, and then I found out. I told my mom. She's like, kind of laughed. I was like, no, honey, that's your period. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And sex ed, all I did was draw pictures of cartoon cats and give them to the girls I thought were cute. And I don't. It was like an all girls class. So whatever. Like it was just. It was. I'm getting out of control. So basically, growing up, like I'm fucking trans, dude. Like I was just body dysmorphia was the most real shit ever. Like I black. Sorry. Oh god. Woo. Oh, wow. I just saw me almost die. One little dip in here and like I mean I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe the voltage isn't high enough. But either way, my Italian ass hands are just slapping the shit out of this. And so basically, like when I was growing up, yeah, like it was body dysmorphia was so real. I blacked out in my head what I looked like, and when I finally came out as trans, it was like boom, I saw it all, and I was terrified because I hated everything I saw, and it was really very difficult learning curve to come around to that. And I had to wear like I started wearing a binder for for only a year. I'm so lucky to have only worn it for a year because I know people that wear them for a long time because like either they don't want to get the surgery or they can't afford the surgery or like things insurance wise are a bitch, and state to state now is becoming worse and worse. Worse and better. Thank you, North Virginia. Thank you, West Virginia, for giving us some sort of positive news in the trans community. Because I was looking at news stuff today, and I was like, this is all the saddest shit I've ever seen, and it's just making me more and more scared about my future and my rights. If I all of a sudden couldn't take testosterone, I'm sorry, but I don't think I could be here anymore. Like that sounds really morbid, and I don't want to set an example of giving up or being that way or doing that because I felt that way before, and here we are. I didn't know it could get better. So maybe if it goes away, maybe I could get better again. I'm gonna try and be positive about that. But I'm a human being myself too, and I have limitations. Like if that was taken from me, like I don't know what I would do. I can't go back. I don't want to go back. I can't go backwards. I cannot go backwards. And also, I'd be in such a weird in between for me, myself personally, because I know you don't lose your facial hair after you get it, or like it won't keep growing. But I would probably, I think, still have to shave or something. Like if I decided to go back, or if I didn't decide to go back, or if I got put into like a women's prison because I don't have my sex changed on my ID, and like that's scary shit. Like that is scary shit. That is scarier than when I was on a date with that guy and those guys were calling us faggots and I thought they were gonna come beat our asses. I'd rather have my ass beat than have my rights taken away. That's not an invitation to beating my ass. But I literally like that's so it's just Florida fuck you. I'm sorry, not the state, but the guy. I saw the guy. I saw his picture and he's like, hey, like I'm a politician. Like it's very like I'm like you're the most white bread bullshit I've ever seen in my life, and I just want to punch you in the face, to say the least. And I'm sure his family hates him. It's literally like it's a whole thing. I really am just it's state after state after state, and I'm back in Tennessee. Okay, I'm back in Tennessee, and that's a scary moment in itself. But at the same time, I really like even like I said earlier when I was in Oregon. I was too comfortable. Isn't this like it sounds weird? I've wanted my whole life. My whole life I just wanted to fit in. I just wanted to be a part of something. I wanted to be in a group and I wanted to I wanted to feel like I fit in. I wanted to feel like I was like I could blend in. Because there wasn't a time that I felt like I blended in. And then when I went up to Oregon and I was in Portland and there were like loads of trans people and whatever, I didn't stand out anymore. And for a second, it was really kind of cool. And then after that second, I was like, wait a minute. Like, what about everything I went through? Like the fight's over. Like the fight is done. Like now I'm finally at this place where I could speak up and no one gives a fuck out there because so many people are already been there, done that. And it was like being trans wasn't special anymore. And or not saying like that's the only special thing about me because I don't like hearing people say that about themselves either because I have heard that from a trans guy before and it's really sad because I'm like no you're a special person regardless of your sexuality or gender and there's lots of like positive things to you other than just that but I really did when I was there it was like, oh, that's old news kind of thing. Like, or like, oh, we've got enough of those. Like, don't worry about it. You're like, you don't stand out anymore. It's all good. And I was like, and they're like, it's a safe place. You don't stand out kind of thing. And I was like, well, wait, I just went through hell. Like, give me some credit. And that's on my own insecurity of like I should give myself my own validation and credit. But at the same time, I was kind of excited to have that validation from a societal view and not just have people like oh okay oh yeah you're trans you're good don't worry about it and I'm like wait what about the people that are still like this is it's such a bubble like what about the people that are still out in Nashville or out in the South or out in these in Florida and all these states who aren't living that right now like what? Who's gonna stand up for them? You guys are also chill up here. You don't. It seems like you don't give a fuck anymore, and it's honestly it was disappointing. And I know the intention was good because the intention was like, no, you're comfortable, you're good, and it's like okay, cool, but like, what about them? What about my friends? What about my neighbors? What about my like whatever? I didn't know many trans people at the time, but like I did grow up in a small town in Tennessee and like right outside of Nashville, and so I did experience a lot of hate and weird shit. And I mean, I get hate messages pretty often on my Instagram, but I just show them to people and then I delete them because I think it's kind of stupid and I'm not gonna fight back and I don't really care. But it's like it's really I feel like a big reason why I mean, so I moved back here for a few different reasons. One of them I'm not even gonna get into, but the other reasons was my family's still here, and my younger brother is transitioning as well, female to male, and it just felt weird being so far away, and also the people that are in the LGBTQ plus community here are still fucking fighting, like as in a lot of other places are, and our abortion rights got taken away, and not just for the community, for everyone. Everyone's abortion rights are done, and like except that one state. It was like Kansas, Nebraska, Kansas. I don't remember, but I'm sorry. That's my bad. I don't know. But and basically, so I mentioned to somebody today. I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna try and get a hysterectomy, and I was there. I was like, yeah, I forgot to get my letter of approval from a therapist or whatever. And so they were like, yeah, you gotta have the letter, you gotta have this, you gotta have that. And I was like, okay, fair, like whatever. And she was like, wait, you're getting a hysterectomy? And I was like, yeah, because it's kind of normal for trans guys to get a lot of uterus pain because it's a battlefield in there with hormones. And it's like, to me, testosterone's gonna win. I'm sorry, estrogen, but you don't stand a chance when I'm pumping this shit in once a week. And so basically, I experience every so often I'll start getting really bad pains, and I'm one that when I had periods, I had bad cramps, dude. Like that shit sucked. That sucked, like full on. Yeah, hate messages. Thank you, Mallory. Our projection, absolutely. But so it was. So yeah, I mentioned something about getting a hysterectomy, and she was like, I was like, well, even though I'm not having sex with guys right now, like it's not like that, and also, but like not being able to get pregnant, like just the risk in general. And she was like, Andy, well, I don't want to like project sexual assault into reality, but you never know. And I was like, holy shit, I didn't even think about that. I've been through it in the past, and so I feel like it was like, okay, I went through sexual assault I went to sexual assault therapy, which I only went a few times, but I do recommend it. I mean, I don't know, my therapist was nice, but and then yeah, but I didn't even think about the possibility. I don't know. I feel like I kind of like got. I was like one and done. Okay, cool. Like I got through it, and now I'm fine, and now I'm trans, and now it's fine, and now I'm good. And it's also like, wait, no, that there is still chance of like being sexually assaulted. I mean, duh, Andy, especially as a trans man, where there's a bunch of freaks out there. Like, you never know. You never fucking know. And especially that I'm putting myself out there and I keep mentioning where I live and shit, like a dumbass. But okay, I'm not putting that energy out there. Nothing's gonna happen. But at the same time, I'm not alone in this. I know I'm not alone in this. Like, yes, I come off male presenting, but at the same time, like, guys get sexually assaulted too in general, but then once they, like, if you open the pants and you realize there's no dick there, then they're probably like, oh baby, it's on. Like, you know, like, you never know. You never know. Like, it's honestly, it's fucking terrifying because now you can't get an abortion. If I got pregnant, I'm paying someone to do something to me to make sure that that's not a thing, and that's scary and unhealthy and unsafe, and that's not okay. And I shouldn't project that example because that's not a good example, because all I pictured was having somebody hit me in the stomach with a baseball bat or something crazy like that, and then I'm gonna like Harry Houdini die because he had a bunch of people punching him in the stomach, and all of a sudden one of his organs ruptured because he was such a magician. He just kept doing it. But like, it's, there's a lot of, like, you can't just have somebody hit you in the stomach or you push you down the stairs or take a lot of vitamin C. I knew a girl that was like, yeah, I think I'm pregnant. I think I'm going to take a bunch of vitamin C pills. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And she was like, yeah, that'll help it abort naturally. And I was like, what? Like, you're gonna get the kid high seed out? Like, it's like, it's not even a kid yet. I get that, but like at the same time, it was there's so many unhealthy, unsafe ways to have abortions, and we can't be doing that shit. That's crazy. That's crazy. But it's still like, it's real, and like the fear is there, and it's not okay. And this is why I'm on here. I guess no. This is honestly, like, I just I just, like, if I could do a call of action of like, yo, get with me, let's do something about this. I don't even know what to do. Nobody knows what to do. These white guys have all the fucking power, and it's bullshit. And guess what? Now I'm a white guy. Maybe I can just slip my way through there and like kind of get a little belly of the beast kind of vibe and just like start, you know? I don't really know. I don't know what I can do, but I'm starting with this, and I don't even know what this is doing. But either way, yeah, being trans, being in the LGBTQIA plus community, being a female, having female organs, is all scary fucking shit. Tell me one thing that's scary about being a cisgendered male right now. A straight cisgendered male. What's scary about that? Are you scared that your paycheck's gonna be more? Because fuck you. I laugh because I'm uncomfortable. But no, it's literally like there's zero things to be scared of as a cisgendered white straight male. Zero. Other than being hated by everybody. Oh, so sorry. Like, no, but hated with like I would say no power, but we do have power. We do have power, and we can come together, and we can change this shit because it has to. Like just like I was saying earlier, how human beings are fucked up by even like compartmentalizing things and putting things in boxes and making these little houses and separating and segregating and everyone being separate and different. It's not true. We're all the fucking same. We need to get our shit together. We can't accept the fact that it's too late, which I feel like last night I had a depressive moment. I was like I don't know, like depresso espresso. Like, I don't know. It was literally, I was straight up just really down about humanity and society, and I was really disappointed in all of that shit, and I get that way so often. And I know I'm probably not alone in that, and that's why people drink, that's why people do drugs, that's why people escape, like, because they can't handle being here. Why is that? Why is that a common denominator that so many people can't handle reality as it is? Like straight up sober reality. And I'm a previous addict, so or 2 years, and I've been 4 years clean. Hey, and I literally like, and some people watching are probably like, oh, that's what's going on. No, I literally like it's really really frustrating. I was this high strung previously before being an addict too, by the way, but it's nobody can handle reality in a sober sense consistently. And if you tell me one person, I'll be like, cool, that one person's got it down. What's the secret? Because this is some frustrating shit. And I really do feel like we've all gotten it wrong. But we shouldn't feel guilty about that. Because I think it started from day one. If day one, I'm picturing, I'm gonna set the scene for you right now. Day one, Adam and Eve shit. Scratch that story. I think it's full of shit, anyways. Sorry. If you have a religious background, good for you. Roll with it. Have your own opinion. That's fine. This is mine. Make your own Twitch and tell us about it then. I'm doing this right now. So, setting the scene. Back early days, the world is completely green and has its rivers and the rocks and the oceans and animals. Like the dinosaurs are gone, okay? Like I'm sorry, but the dinosaurs are gone at this point because I don't know how to fit them into my vision. Love dinosaurs, whatever. But it's just like this free range world, and like there's like antelope running around, and there's deer like eating little things, and like maybe some lions are killing stuff, but whatever. That's their own like like their own prerogative, whatever. And then there's human being walking around naked, don't know what's going on, and so it's like, oh, let me sense it out, let me learn what's going on. And so then they see, oh god, my battery's at 11%. I'm gonna finish this up and then I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna get out of here, but because my water's cold too. So they see animals and how they're reacting, like the food chain is in front of their eyes, and they're like, oh, I must kill to be the top of the food chain. Ugh. So then they start killing things. Wrong. That's where you went wrong. Right the fuck away. I'm sorry, but it's true. Because I don't think that we needed to. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a vegetarian because our ancestors have conditioned us now to need meat / maybe not need meat. I don't know. It's your call. But that's the first mistake. Because I really feel like, because energy is a thing, we all are energy, we're all the fucking same energy, gender, whatever, doesn't matter. If we would put out, like back then, if Mr. Adam, let's call him Adam because whatever, and if he would have been like, you know what, animals in world and plants, because plants have consciousness, I learned it in school, don't fuck with me, all these things, you know what, let's be one, man. Let's be one, because that's what we are. And I'm gonna shoot some good vibes to you, and you're gonna feel them, and you're gonna bring them back to me, and then I'm gonna get on a lion and just ride him around, because that's what's going on in my world. And like then you're just riding around on your lion, and you're picking flowers, and you're eating like raw potatoes or something. I don't know, like. I don't know, but either way, I really feel like us starting off the game with killing things, we fucked up. Full on, we fucked up. Oh, I have to be superior. What do we do? What do we do? We gotta kill something. And then they did, and then it's like, whoa, that was a rush. We gotta do it again. And this is how we feed the family. It's like, no, dude, shut the fuck up and sit down. Get some like walnuts or something. Like, there's loads of other things that they could have done. Anyways, and so then I'm gonna build a hut. I'm gonna make a house. Like, and it's like, okay, cool. You got your house. Well, wait, if you have a house, then I need a house, and I'm gonna have my house. But wait, I like your house better. Bah, bah, bah. Take the house. Boom. This is a whole animosity of it. Like, this is where the things are going crazy. This is wrong. This is wrong, 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 wrong. None of it is right. And so then, as humanity continues, you know the rest of the history, where like they just keep fucking up over and over and over and over. And like even with like technology and stuff, that's probably like one of the rightish things that we've done, because it's very cool, and here we are doing it now. Like, this is what's something that's brought us together. But at the same time, if we didn't go, I don't know, if we didn't go that route, I really don't feel like we would have had to go that route. You know what I mean? I don't think it's instinctive. I don't think it was instinctive from day one for us to kill each other and for us to hate other people that might not look like us or be like us. I really don't think that's a thing. And I'm sorry, but I'm intuitive and I really think I'm right. And come at me if you think I'm wrong, because we'll bounce it back and forth. I don't care. It's not gonna be a battle because I'm not doing that. This is exactly what I'm talking about. We can just converse, and I'll accept that you're wrong, and you can accept that you're wrong, and you can accept that I'm right. But it's the whole thing of we did not do it right. I'm sorry, but we did not. But I honestly, I think it stems from originally. I'm about to get off here. My computer's about to die. I think it stems from originally our human brains, right? Picture this: our human brains are all compartments, all different. It's all different aisles of the Container Store, all in one. So basically, so then when we, and my theory is when we naturally think, and when we can put things in categories, and when we can put things in compartments in our brains, I couldn't find shit about this on the internet, which I'm pissed. I think it needs to come from me. Sorry, but it does and it will. But when we put things in categories, I know that there's a release of serotonin somewhere, because it's like, oh, you're gay. I knew it. And it's like, why are you getting joy out of putting me in a box? Or like, oh, you're trans. That makes so much sense. Now my day is great. I'm going to go to the grocery store. Like, it's like, what? Why is this a thing that affects people? Like, I really don't understand that. And it gets really confusing to me, but I also see like, oh, that's where that stems from. Because day one, we decided to put shit in boxes, and like, you look different than me. I don't know what that means, so I'm gonna get mad about it, and I'm gonna try and fight you because and show you that I'm superior. And that's how like even segregation of like different races came about. It's just all just wrong. So now we're in this thing where different people freak out different people, just like we set the tone of like where I barked at those dogs and they're like, what the fuck? And they're probably just because they're used to being scared of things that are different because of genetics over time have just done this. It doesn't make sense. The only reason why it makes sense is because it's been consistent, because we've been consistently fucking up. That's it. That's why. Like, tell me scientifically why that all makes sense. It doesn't. I'm sorry, it doesn't. I'm not sorry. It just doesn't. And so now the fear-based life that we're living of things being different from us, and there's still fucking racial segregation, which is not okay, and still people that, oh, you have blonde hair and I have brown hair. I don't know what that life's like, so we're just not gonna talk. If it comes down to that, like, come on, we got real issues going on. But it's really frustrating to me, and it needs to come to a stop. And gender is bullshit, but it's also very powerful because we've fought for our trans rights. So gender makes a difference to a trans person for the most part. I can't speak for everybody. I can only speak for myself. But I'm proud to be able to call myself a trans guy. I won't even call I'm not a cisgender white male. I didn't grow up with all those privileges. I didn't grow up with an extra $3 on my paycheck for my hourly rate. I didn't grow up with like an easy time. Like, I'm sorry, but like, and I know cisgender white guys have a hard days and whatever. Like, everyone's equal. I get it. You have hard times too, but this is a different caliber, and I know that's just that. And so I'm proud to say I'm a trans guy because I want to stick up for a group, my group, because I'm finally included in something now. I'm not on, like, I'm not blending in anymore. I was blending in Oregon. And I didn't like that. Even though that's what I wanted. I wanted to blend in. I wanted to feel part of something. But now guess what? I'm a part of the group that doesn't blend in, and I like that. And I blend in with that group. But I like that. I like that. These are my people, and I got you. And I'm gonna try my fucking hardest to be some sort of advocate or voice for something, and I'm not gonna stop. Even though today I had a really stressful day and I honestly wasn't sure if I wanted to do this tonight or not, but I'm really happy I did because I knew that I would be happy that I would do it. That I'd be happy that I did it. Whatever. Anyways, I'll be back here next Monday at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Find my Instagram, Speaking Sylvester. I actually started a YouTube page now. It is Speaking Sylvester as well. Or it's Speaking Sylvester as well. And yeah, I'm posting these on there because Twitch doesn't hold on to your videos and I don't like that, so I'm just downloading them and putting them on there. So if you miss this, you can watch it there. But you're listening now, so you obviously didn't miss it. But yeah, my website's coming up. It's about to be published really soon. I'll put that out there by next time probably, or I'll announce whenever that's happening. And announcing the podcast where me and some awesome guests are going to be talking, and I'm going to be asking them questions. And so this is my release of my opinions, and now I'm excited to hear theirs. And if you have questions, please reach out to me over messaging, like DM on Instagram, and pretty soon you can have my email. That'll get you to my website. But I'm a very passionate trans man, and I'm on here to speak, and I'm on here to try and connect and try and make things a little bit more relatable. If people don't feel like they can relate to trans people, guess what? I've lived almost every perspective out there, and so like I'll connect. I can connect to you. I promise. Like, give me the fucking challenge, and I can connect to you. So here we are for the night. What is gender? It's nothing and it's everything. But it's everything for what the fight was for. You know, like we earned the title of I earned the title of a guy, and trans women earn the title of a woman, and so that's where it counts. But in reality, we are all one, and we're all the fucking same. So stop being mean to people that are not like you, and stop being mean to people just because you don't understand them. And most of that shit stems from projection, so don't even tell me that you don't agree. So, anyways, we're gonna cap it off here before I get angry. And I love you guys. Have a good night. I will be with you next week.